And these magicians are like superheroes. They're able to come up with and create incredibly new and innovative things.
Come in close, because the more you think you see, the easier it'll be to fool you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
for our final trick,
we are going to rob a bank.
On the count of 3, you will be teleported through space and time to your bank in Paris. 1, 2,
3. Everyone in this room was a victim of hard times.
Some of you lost your homes, your cars.
And so tonight,
we're going to return some of that money back to you.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Can you explain to me how you went from Las Vegas to Paris in 3 seconds?
What do the kids call it these days? Oh, magic. First rule of magic, always be the smartest guy in the room. Well, Alice creates these huge shows that they do for, you know, big audiences, but, you know, I think the coolest things that he does are for small crowds. In the opening of the movie, he's doing a show for a large group, but he's really performing for just one person. I'm going to flip through this deck, and I want you to see one card, and not this one. That's too obvious. Pay close attention. That was too fast. I'll do it again. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you see one?
Yes.
Do you have one in mind?
Yes.
And do you see your card here?
No.
That's because you're looking too closely. And what have I been telling you all night? The closer you look, the less you see. He does this amazing trick where he has somebody select the 7 of diamonds, and then it appears on the Sears Tower, like on the full front of the Sears Tower. And so, you know, it's not, you know, he's not doing it for vanity. He's not doing it, you know, for money. He's doing it really to do it.
I mean, I think it's a pretty interesting group, very diverse.
Look into my eyes and sleep and
Just hang out there, wriggle a sec. I'm picturing beach, cocktails, Florida.
Look, it was a business trip.
Maybe the oldest business. You're thinking of a woman's name. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, Jean, Jane, Janet. Who's Janet? Your sister.
No.
You weren't away on business. You were away on Janet. Okay, now she's gonna get upset. So let's move over here. You want this to go away?
Yes.
Okay, pull out your wallet. You know, each of the characters really brings their own something or other to it. I come, you know, obviously from mentalism aspect, and the other 3 are magicians, and they have each, you know, have their own skills. 200 seem fair? Okay, and sleep. Now, when I snap my fingers, you won't remember any of this. And you, every time you see or even think of Janet, you're gonna picture me naked, and that's not a pretty sight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting group to come together to pull off some of these things we're doing.
I play Henley in the movie, and I feel like she brings this unbridled, untamed, feminine spirit, and she kind of keeps the male egos in check. She's an escapologist, an illusionist. She's like a lion tamer, a trickster, an anarchist. She's walking on the edge of the mountain. She's fearless, and she's a lot of fun to play.
Okay, Los Angeles, when that timer hits 0, a tank full of piranhas will fall from above. A lady has to have handcuffs.
Well, we meet Henley as she's dressing a young crowd at what's supposed to be UCLA or some young, you know, university in LA, and she's dropped straight away into a tank of piranhas, chained. And that was a lot of fun. I'm not going to lie, it was one of the reasons I took the movie, because in real life, I'm a real fraidy cat. I'm afraid of everything. But the whole experience of playing and doing my own stunts in this movie and playing Henley, I think it really made me a braver person, and I feel like I'm more positive about my own capabilities. And even the director Louis said, you know, Isla, we're so impressed you did all your own stunts. I didn't even know I had an option that I could have had a stunt lady. So I'm really pleased with my work in the movie because I was pretty brave. I conquered some fears.
Jax is he's kind of a sleight of hand guy, so he's a pickpocket, and he's doing all this weird kind of revealing with cards and then like making cards disappear, and so that's his specialty.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am the next great magician, and I will give $100 to anyone who can tell me how this trick is done. I have an ordinary spoon from Mel's Deli right here in Brooklyn. Check it out. Now everyone, please pay very, very close attention, because I'm about to bend this spoon with my mind.
Rehearsal for this movie, it's been really fun just because, you know, we came here and the first day of rehearsal, I was throwing playing cards for about 3 hours trying to cut a banana in half, and so it's like, I'm getting paid to do this. This is so cool. And so, you know, I would go home every night and put on a movie and just like practice these sleight of hand card tricks, and it's amazing.
Thank you. Pass that around.
What's this?
Well, what are you doing, man?
Look at this. Looks like we got a spoon and a stem.
I got other tricks.
Or you can give me my $100. You said you would.
Nice wallet.
You have a very good eye, sir.
Thanks. Wallet. My wallet. My watch.
We do have a lot of great characters in this movie, and a lot of great emotional arcs, and and romance and drama and action and thrilling moments, and it's kind of a big hodgepodge of everything that I love in a movie, on such a grand scale.
Want to know how they did it? Say the magic word.
A year ago, these guys were a bunch of street magicians.
Now they're pulling off amazing robberies and not keeping a single cent for themselves.
You do realize this is a game played out on a global scale. Vegas was just the start. This trick was designed a long time ago.
We are dealing with something far bigger than us.
We're all here for the same reason.
We cannot quit.
Expose them now and destroy them.
Whatever is about to follow, whatever this grand trick is, it's really going to amaze. Look closely, because the closer you think you are, the less you'll actually see.